Hello. So there's a story that illustrates what the Seven Sisters is aiming to give to you, to share with you. And the story goes that there once was a young woman who had a blessed life in a beautiful valley with her family and friends and her community, and all was well and all was beautiful, but within her heart was beating a desire for more. She wanted to, she felt that there was more to life than just this small little life within the valley and with her community. And surrounding that valley were giant mountains and waterfalls and forests and so many things that most of the people barely only sort of explored the very edges of this incredible environment. And she dreamed of what lies beyond, what lies atop these mountains, and what lies beyond the mountains. And so she decided when she came of age that she would like to venture out and see what there was beyond these mountains. And so up she climbed through the mountains, and she came across, many trials and tribulations, facing wild animals and the dangers of climbing huge cliff faces and crossing waterfalls, and there were so many things along the way that really challenged her, but she just kept going. And she also made a point of leaving little signs along the way, like building like a rock tower to show that she was there, or even painting like a cave painting. And sometimes she got hurt in one way or another, and so she had to just stop and be still and recover, and just go within herself until she was ready to move on with her journey. And then came the time when finally she reached the top of the mountain, and she just looked around, and she had this incredible 360-degree view of the world. She could see the valley where her family was and her friends, and she could see the other tops of the mountains, and then she could see other valleys and rivers and even some other little villages beyond. And she realized, well, there you go, I'm not alone, there's more out there. And she thought to herself, well, I can either go back down to my friends and family in the village and tell them about this, that there's more, or I can go on and just know that they all know that I went on this journey, and they all know that there are signs that I've left along the way that will help them to see the path that I've taken. And also just the knowing that I've done this and knowing that it is possible, then they can just venture out on the journey just as I have done, with nothing in my hands. Like, they can just find their way as well. There's nothing to stop them. And so off she went, onwards and upwards, to explore the mighty kingdoms that lay beyond, and to explore more of herself and let herself expand in her might and her power and her love and her joy for life. And so, in case you're wondering, that's exactly just an allegory to describe what the Seven Sisters is about. It's simply one person's experience of what Christhood is, which is, it's not like this one singular thing. It's not a singular definable thing. It's a whole journey, and it's a journey where one just steps up in vibration, and it's a journey of accepting the self and accepting others. It's a journey of transcending the self and recognizing the limits that one has imposed upon oneself, and then being able to transcend that, not hanging on to guilt or shame that, oh my God, I've done something wrong. Just allowing it all to be as it is and to move onwards and upwards. And what I'm giving to you here is sharing my journey, and in the absolute knowledge, and it's a bit of an experiment, but I'm confident in the experiment that because I'm writing 7 books over the space of about 7 years, it may take longer, but I think it's going to be 7 years at this point, that I know I've been growing over the last 51 years, year in, year out, day in, day out. So I know that these books are going to show an evolution within me, and to show that, and is to share that with you. And it's to show that there's absolutely nothing that stops you from doing this. There's nothing except for the mind and the limits that might come from the outside world, which say, you can't do this, it's wrong, it's bad, it's dangerous, it's crazy, it's, whatever. So that's simply it. It's a map I'm giving to you, and there's been many, many different maps that are out there for you to follow. And with this particular map, I'm sharing the esoteric side, the very, very sort of spiritual and esoteric concepts, but also reaching out into the side of the real, where I show to you just the same trials that each one of us face, be it in relationship. It's mainly in relationship with other people. That's where we find, our biggest trials and tribulations. But I'm showing you, that, I too have had exactly the same problems that everybody else has. But it's also just showing the unpacking of that, and the unpacking of it, and coming back to that place of higher vibration, of forgiveness and love, and forgiveness for the self, of course. It's one of the biggest and most important things we can do in our journeys. So there you have it, the journey of the 7 sisters, for you, from me, to share. And I hope you enjoy, and I'm sure that you'll find something, and many, many stories along the way that will assist you. So I do hope you enjoy.